In his fifth lecture of faith, dedicated to the Godhead, Joseph Smith defined the unity of the members of the Godhead, and by extension, the saints, as being in each other. The prophet also pointed out that the quality of being in and being one has degrees. It is not about being simply in or out. It is about going from degree to degree, from grace to grace, until a fullness of glory and sameness of mind is achieved. The Godhead has achieved this totality of fullness and oneness. Joseph cited the Apostle Paul to substantiate this doctrine. In his King Follett address, Joseph said that this process of going from grace to grace, or from a smaller degree to a greater degree, is eternal and is the means by which all gods became gods. Joseph learned this doctrine from a revelation given him by Jesus Christ in 1833. 2 years before the publication of the Lectures on Faith. The Lord begins the revelation by stating that He is the true light that enlighteneth every man that cometh into the world. He then declares that He is in the Father, and that the Father is in Him, and they are one. This is the doctrine of inness as oneness. That the Lord introduced this doctrine with a statement that He was the light that enlighteneth every man is not coincidental. It is the light of Christ that creates the ability for one being to be within another. The Savior next made this doctrine explicit. He partially restores the original Gospel of John, who records that it is the light and Redeemer of the world, meaning the light of Christ, and the Spirit of truth, also referring to the light of Christ that became the life and light of all men. The record of John continues by saying what Joseph repeated in his lecture. Jesus Christ did not receive a fullness at first, but continued from grace to grace until He did so. Jesus received not only a fullness of glory, but a fullness of truth. In the same way, man too can receive a fullness of truth and, by implication, glory. To do so, man must keep the commandments. When man receives a perfect body in the resurrection, he can also receive a fullness of joy. To receive a fullness, ultimately, is to receive a fullness of glory, truth, and joy. It is impossible to have one without the other. It is from this same revelation that Joseph learned the nature of intelligence, light, and truth.